Okay, so I wanted to take a minute and kind of talk to you guys about the tiles. This is just a way to talk to the kids, like we've talked about different options. These usually come in wooden tiles, and they're every elementary math classroom has these, and they're great for tessellations. They're great for patterns. You can talk to the kids about shapes, how shapes compare to each other. So I have a set of tiles. I have them at school, and I know we have a lot, or I think we have a lot at Wright State. So you can always borrow those. Just let me know if you're interested, just to kind of like play around, to be comfortable with them. So we have the hexagon. I want to say the hexagon is always yellow. We have a trapezoid, and that's where you have two parallel sides, but not the other two are different. We have a rhombus or parallelogram. Please do not call it a diamond. I know kids will call it a diamond in the early years, but it's kind of nice to get familiar with that technical vocabulary. Otherwise, they become the kid in 6th grade who doesn't know how to define a shape. So it's a quadrilateral, it happens to be a parallelogram, and we call it a rhombus. And we have the equilateral triangle, and these are usually green, I believe. I've seen them all. So I don't have tiles, so I just use my Cricut, and I'm just using the back of a notebook that is black, just to kind of give it like a nice little contrast. And I apologize, I'm being so shaky, but just so you get the idea here, and this is in one of the activities, I want to say this in one of the first ones, that we have the trapezoid. Two of them make a hexagon. So when you're looking for patterns and fractions, you can kind of use that to kind of demonstrate how they fit, or how you can divide them. Then we have that two, I think it is, hang on a second, no, a rhombus or parallelogram and a triangle make a trapezoid, and two triangles, not the the trapezoid, two triangles make the rhombus, and then we have that three triangles. This looks almost holiday-like. Let me get another one over here. I think I got from a quote from some of my kids, I think, or just the season, so I apologize. So then three triangles, equilateral triangles make the trapezoid. So if three make the trapezoid and two trapezoids make the hexagon, so then we know that 6 triangles make the hexagon. So like I said, this is just kind of handy when you're talking to the kids and trying to come up with patterns later on for them. Oh, this is stuck. Later on for them is going to be important for them to figure out for tessellations and translations and patterns and things like that when they get a little bit older. Usually that's 7th grade or so, but I think I've seen it in some like kind of like coloring pages, just to kind of get kids started. You can just kind of like have the kids, especially when they're younger, just like create pictures. And what can you create with this? So I can come up with this over here, and I can come up with this over here. And whenever I scan the pages, you'll see that how these fit, because then you can start saying like this one is 1/6 of the whole, or this one is 1/2 of the whole. The triangle is 1/3, and we also have the triangle is 1/2, and you can just kind of talk about those pieces, how like you can say that, you know, two of these would fit here, and you can just kind of, I think this actually makes quarters or something creative like that once you start arranging them and so forth. But just gonna get comfortable with these. Again, they are in the education classroom at Wright State, in that big giant math closet in the back. I'm not sure exactly what the policy is for borrowing if you just wanted to study, but I'm sure if you talk to somebody, teachers will be willing and to show you. I am also planning on bringing some to class next time, just to kind of get you familiarized with some of these styles, because I eventually purchased my own. I don't want to say that they're like super expensive. They're not really inexpensive either. So just kind of something to keep in mind, those of you that are talking, really teaching the little kiddos. And you can also talk about like size comparison, so greater than, less than, those kinds of things. I mean, there's like a million things that you can use these tiles for. There's a nice little neat pattern, without having to actually get into numbers, so then you can get them familiar to the vocabulary kind of thing. So look into the patterns for this, and then there are a few other things for you to kind of watch and discuss and